All right, what's going on? I think we're gonna call this Bread Talks. Like LYMG presents Bread Talks. The same way we have TED Talks, right? We have Bread Talks. And I don't say this because I don't do the whole YouTuber thing too often, but I'm gonna get more into it, right? Because I was reading, right, and I was just reminded, like a wise man plants, right? He tends to the entire garden. He just doesn't tend to one plant in the garden. And I can admit, I've been so locked in on the charts, locked in on adding value to our members that I've been neglecting the other parts of this whole LYMG operation, including the outreach part, reaching out to people via YouTube, things like that, right? I've been so focused inside the community on the charts that I've neglected this part. So I'm sorry. So I'm gonna ask, what I see other YouTubers do, like, comment, subscribe, share. People always see this, like it's one of my favorite Jay-Z quotes. People say you should spit it. I'm like, you should buy it. That's good business. So I'm gonna ask you, the way to buy it, the way to support is to like, comment, subscribe, because we're going to give you the best information to start from where you are, right? And let's start it. Look, we're gonna get on the road to 500 subscribers first, right? We're gonna get on the road to 500 subscribers first. It's funny, we actually have more members inside our LYMG community than we have YouTube subscribers. But that's been on me. All right, that's been on me. I'm taking accountability for that. I'm not blaming nobody for that. I'm gonna shame nobody for that. I know we're gonna add value. So now let's get into it. What we want to talk about today is turn your income in the industry. All right. We want to turn your income in the industry. So there's going to be your safe space for financial literacy. And you're going to hear words and you're going to feel, right? You're going to literally feel the energy and the spirit to get you out of that certain mindset, get you out of those certain toxic cycles that you have in regards to your finances, in regards to there might be a spirit overseeing your finances and it's just blocking you from moving how you need to move. So we're gonna hit all of that. So let's talk about the real. Let's talk about where we at. Listen to what I'm saying. You have to turn your industry into income, right? Your income in the industry. You have to do it, right? And what that means is you have to industrialize your income to work for you. Industrialize your income to work for you. You know why? Because we were put in this society, we were put in this earth, and somebody said, hey, when you get older, right? When you get older, one of the functionalities of adulthood is that you're going to have to work for money. You're going to have to work to eat. You're going to have to work to live. You're going to have to work to find a place to live. So, guess what somebody did? Industrialize our lives. Somebody looked and said, here's a plan. We're going to industrialize their life. And then there were people who say, well, look, I have a plan. And in order for this plan to work, I need these resources. That's why every major corporation has a human resources department, because you are the resource. You are the thing that it takes for that plan to work. You are the one that have to work it. So now look at what's being made up. AI. People are now trying to come up with AI because they're looking for a better resource other than humans. That is a nasty thing to just comprehend and accept right there. Your entire life, your entire existence has been industrialized, meaning that somebody had an idea, and in order for that idea to work, they had to put you to work. And you have to work in order to be able to live, to be able to eat, to be able to afford X, Y, and Z. So you constantly find yourself working for money. And then people are so brainwashed, they go, well, I know I'm going to show them when I get paid and when I've been saving up my hard earned money, I'm going to go on this vacation because I deserve it. You know what you deserve? Freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom. That's indeed what you deserve, right? Our mindsets have become like little peanuts in this culture, bro. Our mindsets have become like little peanuts in this culture where we just think we go to work and then once a month we treat ourselves. And if you really got a good job, once a week you go treat yourself, or every other night you're gonna treat yourself. And that's stupid. So we got to get to a point where we're getting our finances to work for us. So in order to do that, we have to get rid of this culture of impatience. There's a lot of impatience when it comes to financial literacy, and I'm gonna tell you why. So many people, I can tell you right now, I'm gonna point out the problem and then we're gonna get to the solution. All right. So many people, here's what you do. You go, oh, that worked. Oh, does that trading thing work? That financial literacy thing work? It's so much deeper than trading, right? And you go, you're more impressed by how much someone made in a day versus how much someone is able to keep, right? A real comprehensive investment plan is all about how much you're able to keep, not how much you're able to make in a day, right? And I wish more and more people would emphasize that, right? And that's what we do here. So rather than thinking about, okay, well, oh, he made $10,000 in a day. Oh, wow, that's great. Oh, how can I sign up? Or he made da 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 in a day. He made 5 grand a day. He made 7 grand a day. She made $20,000 this month. How can I sign up? Think about how much you're able to keep. So here's what we do at LYMG. You have to have a comprehensive investing plan. Listen to what I'm saying. Comprehensive investing plan. So you got to make money at different speeds. It's not about the volume of money that you make. If you have a big volume of money, but you're making it all at one speed, your investment plan is not comprehensive and it's not going to work. And you're always going to have to work in order to keep making the money in it and keep the lifestyle. So you have to make slow money. You have to make like mid-speed money and you have to make fast money, right? It's like having a well-balanced football team. You need great skill players, right? You need great skill players on the outside. You need smart players, and then you need a stout offensive and defensive line. Your line play has to be elite. You see what I'm saying? We never seen anybody win a Super Bowl who didn't have a really, really good line play. We call it trench play, okay? So now, for example, rather than focus on how much money or how fast you made money trading options, which is what the world tends to do, trading futures, which is what the world tends to do, trading forex, and you think about, oh, well, how fast can I quit my job? I really want to quit my job. First things first, if you come to me with impatience, that's how I know you're not going to last. That's how I know you're going to be working for the next 30 years of your life. If you come to me and you're impatient and you're not willing to change that, you will be working for the next 40 years. You will be working till you're 70. You will be those people who were making good money in their days and they didn't account for inflation. So you retired and still had to work. You draw in a check and then you only can work a certain amount of hours when you retire. Otherwise, you lose your check. You're locking yourself into poverty based off of impatience. So you have to reframe your mindset and move like this, right? Your slow money, that's dividend money, right? Your dopamine hit with your dividend money is going to be different from your dopamine hit with your mid-pace money, with your fast money. Your dopamine hit from your dividend money is going to be how many months can you sit there and let that money compound? How many months, month after month, can you make that contribution and let that money compound? So you're going to get those dividends that pay you monthly, get those dividends that pay you quarterly, get those dividends that pay you biannually, and you're going to let those compound. And every time you do without touching that money and letting it compound, bam, there goes your dividend hit. Your mid money, your medium money, right? These are your linebackers, right? These are your tight ends. This is your Travis Kelsey. This is your Ray Lewis, right? These are your forwards in basketball, right? Your mid-speed money for a lot of people is their check. And the problem is a lot of people who are still in their 9 to 5, you're competing, you're not appreciating your job, right? You're not appreciating your job. So you're going there and you're trying to hurry up and get out of there. And that's why you're so concerned with how much can you make in a day. Because you have decades worth of decision making tied up into the job that you're currently working, and you're trying to undo all of that within 20 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days. And it's not going to work like that. It's just not, because it just doesn't. I'm not even going to get into the whole science of everything like that. So instead, what you do is realize, let's count the cost of this job. Let's count the pros and the cons. How much time am I spending at this job per week? Right? You got 168 hours. How much time does that job take up? Okay. Then look at how much it pays you. Okay. And you accept those two things. And you realize every single time you go to work for the job, you go to work for them. You did not go to work for you. When they give you that compensation, right? When they give you that check, now is the time to go to work for you. So the hours that you're not spending at the job, the hours that you're not spending doing X, Y, and Z, don't spend them doing being busy, because the world Society has coached you on how to be busy and to look busy, and you confuse being busy with being productive. All right. That's a major thing right there. So when you get off of work, you haven't been to work for yourself all day. You've been to work for them. You've gotten paid. Now, what do you do for yourself? Can you rationalize spending 30 minutes to an hour a day learning financial literacy? Can you rationalize setting up long term investments? Can you rationalize not eating out every other day? Right? Cooking, going to the grocery store, right? Making a list. Here's what I'm going to eat for the week. When you do that, you save a tremendous amount of money. Can you rationalize those things and then start to go, okay, now that I've cut back on this, I'm going to put this amount of money to my monthly recurring dividends, my blue chip stocks that go up, like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to contribute over there. I'm going to contribute to my IRA. I'm going to contribute to all of that stuff, right? Bam. Then you allot time for the income that's going to be able to replace your job. So the income, right? The mid-speed income, this is stuff like this is your job currently. That's the only mid-speed thing that you got. And mid-speed income is going to pay you 1 to 4 times a month, right? 1 to 4 times a month. That's cool. This is where you allot money for education to be able to start compounding your mid-speed income and eventually replacing. But you're not replacing anything until you're able to get a certain amount of money that's going to work for you without you having to do anything, right? This is where you take the money and put aside and you go and buy your courses. You hear what I'm saying? You have to budget for that. You have to put the money aside to buy your courses. And then from there, right? Once you're learning, now you're learning and you're patient with yourself. You're viewing your job different. You're not going to your job. You 42 years old, bro. You over here listening to 25-year-olds who got you hyped, who don't have a family, who don't have anything, who just got over they were dweebs in high school. They just got over their heartbreak from their girlfriend and they got in the gym and they started taking crazy risks and they had a job and they had a studio apartment and they had all the time in the world to learn and mess up and all you seeing is their high volume results. You might not have that level of what? You might not have that level of freedom anymore based off of your decisions. You listen to the people who told you go start a family, go get a good job, go be secure. You designed your life so that everybody around you could feel secure except for you. So now you have to piece by piece undo that decision. You have to do what? You have to find patience and grace and space for yourself. All right. So stop getting motivated by the Lambo bros. You see what I'm saying? And realize where you are in your life and you got to start game planning. Motivation is cool, but a game plan is even better for you because you got motivation from them on a Friday, Saturday, right? While you were chilling, and then you realize that your daughter has practice in 2 hours. So now it's back to reality. So what are you going to do? Just go back to work, hating your job? No. Show gratitude for your job. Realize how much it's costing you. Realize how much it's paying you. Budget your time outside of that, right? Start putting a certain amount of money, right? I don't care if it's just $50 a month. Start putting that's $12.50 a week. Put $12.50 a week into your slow money, right? Just get that working for you. Things that pay you monthly dividends, quarterly dividends, biannual dividends. Start getting that working for you. Then stop eating out so much. Hey, I want to go. You see this new restaurant? Hey. Now this is your time. This is your turn to have a backbone, bro. Nah, we not doing that. Or you can do it. I'm not. You can do it. I'm not. And we're gonna call that the no money. The no money that you save, the no money from the vacation, the no money from all of that other stuff that you save, that's what's going to allow you to invest in your courses to start compounding your mid-speed money and eventually replacing your job so that you can buy your time back and make more money from investing and make more money go to work for you because you have more time to study. You see what I'm saying? And then you have fast money. This is money that pays you multiple times a week. This is stuff like binary options. This is stuff like day trading on options. These are things like, futures day trading, right? They pay you multiple times a week. My personal philosophy is that you should have more deposits in your bank account than you have charges in your bank account. People hear that and go, whoa, it's because you've been conditioned on to be paid 1 to 4 times a month. and you take that one source of income that you make 1 to 4 times a month and you pay everything from that, you're stretching that income. Imagine 20 things pulling on your shirt, right? No matter how big your shirt is, no matter how strong you is, think about how aggravating that is. 20 things pulling on your shirt. That's exactly what's happening with your income, your job income, and that's the only source of income that you have. So you know, I make 150K per year, and I make that, and I get this and that per month. And every time you put your check in, you have 50 things pulling at it. Tink, tink, tink. Grocery store run, this subscription, that, this course. I mean, excuse me, this practice, these pictures, these da 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 da. This for your children, so on and so forth. And you never get ahead. You just stay there. What happens when 150K isn't worth 150K anymore? You see what I'm saying? That's what's called inflation, right? 150K is no longer worth 150K. The number stays the same, but the cost of living is going up, and now your 150K has less purchasing power. You see what I'm saying? If you don't start now, if you don't become patient with your profits now and patient in your finances now, you will be the person who's old, who's working and retired. You're at war because you're working and retired. How does that work? You have to think. You see all these people, 50, 60, 70 years old, working and retired. Something went wrong in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. They did not have the foresight. They did not have the sense of urgency to think about that then. They didn't feel it was important because the moment was so grandiose. That Carnival cruise, they had to go on that cruise. They had to take those pictures. They had to buy that Christmas gift. They had to travel. They had to, but they didn't feel like they had to do what? Prep in their own lives. And many of you, you have this common sense to do this, but you're surrounded by people who just pull and tug and use their emotions as a weapon and get you focused, get you off your focus, get you off your game, and get you moving how they want you to move. So you're trying to be wise with your finances, but people make their emotions so big that you allow it to overpower the wisdom and the logic. And we're going to stop that, right? We're going to stop that. Stop going to war. Stop being working and stop working and being retired. That's stupid, right? That's dumb, but it's dismissive more than anything. All right. So let's get it. How are we going to turn this income into an industry? Right. We talked about it. Started with $12.50 a week. It's going to go $50 per month. Right. Join the LYMG community. Right. Click this link right here. Join the LYMG community. Join the Skool Community. It's free to join the community, right? It's free to join the community. Yes, courses are going to cost. Yes, it's going to be a great investment of your time, your energy, your effort, and your money because we know what you're up against. I'm a parent. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're up against. I know you might not have all the time in the world that you wish. That's why we make money. We make it convenient for you to make money because you might have practice. You might be working. You might can't stare at your phone or stare at the charts all day. That's why we provide trading signals with insights and then meetings. And the meeting times are when people are off work so that you can actually tap in. You can actually learn. You can actually make you some money. You can actually get context, right? We had one of our guys, one of my favorite testimonials is one of our guys, Marlon Thomas. Shout out to Marlon, aka Marlo, right? He made 12K in 7 trading days as a full-time employee, as a husband, as a father, working 2 jobs. You see what I'm saying? Those are the type of testimonials that I love because now we go, okay, out of that 12K, let's let's not plan for that to be every single week. Because let's be honest, the market might not present the conditions for a retail trader to make 12K every single week. You know, when they're still working and when they don't have a lot of capital in the market. So let's do this. Out of that 12K, how much can you keep? How much can you keep and how much can you industrialize? Meaning, how much of that 12K can you put to work for you? That's what we focus on. So it's a success when we're able to put at least 30% of that money to work for him and turn it into permanent profit. What does that mean, right? We're able to take out of that 12K, let's say we take 3,600, right? That's $300 a month. Look what we've done. We've taken what he's made in a week and we spread it out over a year, right? That's $300 a month. 300 times 12. $3,600, right? $75 a week. So we say, hey, he paid himself $75 a week for the rest of his year. If somebody were to hand you $75 a week, would you turn it down? No, you wouldn't. So now we put that money in places where it's going to multiply and compound, right? We're going to put it to where it pays him quarterly dividends, semi-annual dividends and monthly dividends. And that money is going to compound. And then he's going to take that money, right? Take those dividends and do what's called a dividend reinvestment plan, right? So that means when it's called the drip, right? When that money makes money for him, it's going to be reinvested in the same companies that made him money. So it's like getting free stock, okay? It's buying the free stock, and that money's going to compound and compound and compound. So now, what about over the course of a 50, let's say 50 trading weeks, 50 trading weeks, right? He was able to duplicate that performance only 20% of the time. Think about what I just said. So we didn't turn that 12K week performance into a weekly expectation. But we said, out of 50 trading weeks, what if he was only able to duplicate that 20% of the time? Guess what? That equals 120 grand. And out of the 120 grand, what if he was able to make 30% go to work for him? That's 36K. That's 3 grand a month. You see what I'm saying? Not being touched, not being spent, being allowed to compound again, 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 month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year, decade after decade. That's how you have to think. That's what's going to get you off your job. That's what's going to happen. And that's just one source of income. That he just did that from futures trading. Then let's say you're able to go to options, and instead of how much do I make per day? How much do I make per day? You look over month after month after month after month, and you go, okay, well, I'm able at this moment, I have this much in the market, and let's say I'm able to pull 1,500 a month out of the options market, all profit. After profit and losses, let's just say $1,500 a month. That's an additional 18K a year. Now, out of that 18K a year, let's say the same thing. You were able to keep 30% of it. That's another $5,400, right? Divide that by 12. How much is that? That's over $400 a month, right? That's over $400 a month. That's 4.5. I mean, yeah, that's $450 a month. Now imagine somebody handing you that. Imagine somebody handing you a $3,000 check a month and then a $450 check a month. That's what some people get paid overall on their job. And imagine that money just going to work for you month after month, year after year, and you're able to compound. How would you feel about that? You would like that. You would love that, right? And then guess what? Let's say after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, after you've done what? Gotten more knowledge, you bought some time back, right? You got more knowledge, you bought some time back, and you've allowed yourself to do what? Study more. You bought your time. So you may not have to work 40 hours a week. You may only be working 25 hours a week, 30 hours a week. You're doing the part-time so that you can keep your benefits. And now you have more time to study. You have more earning income potential too, because you have more time you're able to put in. You see what I'm saying? Now, guess what? Here's another thing that we teach at LYMG. Rather than trying to compound your, rather than trying to compound your earnings, compound the amount of accounts that you trade on, and then keep your earning, your target profit the same. Keep your daily profit target the same. Keep your weekly profit target the same. So, for example, Marlo is funded on multiple 50K funded futures accounts, and his goal is not to make 12K a week. It just happened that way. The markets played out that way. He had an excellent week. But if we say, hey, Marlo, on your 50K account, go for $300 a day, $300 to $500 a day on your 50K account. It's very simple and easy to find a $300 to $500 trade on a 50K funded than it is to try to find a $1,000 trade on a 50K funded. And then we say, Marlo, now rather than you trying to make $1,000 on a joint on a 50K account, just make 300. But here's what we're gonna do: do that across 5 accounts. That's now $1,500 a day. You see what I'm saying? That's more sustainable. $1,500 a day. What job pays you $1,500 a day? Right? Now let's do that 4 days out the week. That's 6 grand. Let's just do it 3 months out. Let's just do it 3 weeks out the month. 18, 18 grand a month times 12, 216, $216,000, right? Through ASA. Let me take the glasses off. $216,000 just from a sustainable approach. Okay. All of this talk, all of the, how much did you make today? Oh, well, I know somebody who made 75,000. Oh, well, I know somebody who made 120,000 doing that. But what did you do? Right? After they told you that, how did that affect you? How did that affect you? How is your plan working for you? Or do you have a plan? Or are you commenting on everybody else's plan? Yeah, because I was gonna do this thing, man. My man's told me that he made. Okay, but what about you though? Because when you talk to me and you come to LYMG, our whole thing is how can we add value to you? You tell me what your homeboy did is equivalent to me in my mind, and you telling me how he made love to his wife last night. Where's your lady at? Where's your mate? Where's your partner? Hey man, he was tearing that thing up, man. I heard, but he was okay. But what about you though, my boy? What about you though, my girl? Huh? How can we help you? Right? When you go to a restaurant, you don't go, well, hey, yeah, my friend, he had the lobster linguine crab dish, and he's, ooh man, he tore that thing up. I was watching him chomp that thing. Okay, now what do you want to eat? How's your appetite? What do you have a taste for, huh? Because if you don't focus on that, my friend, guess what? You will be at war. You will be working and retired. You will be working and retired. You will be old. You will be retired at one point, right? And then have to go back to work because you didn't make the decisions in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, right? To think long term. You were so busy focused on the lick, running the play. You were so focused on running the play that you did not set up a long term investment strategy. So now you're at war. You're working and retired. And you know, when you're working and retired, you can't work over a certain amount of hours or you're not able to draw that check. You're not able to draw that social security check. You're not able to draw that retirement, my friend. So now you're going to have to work part time and draw retirement in your 60s, in your 50s, in your 70s. All the while, the cost of living is going this way. Your income is here. Cost of living here. All right. So we got to get smart. We got to get out of our way with being impatient. We got to stop letting 19 and 20-year-olds with no responsibility impact the way we make our decisions financially. Yes, young homie got it. He's a Lambo bro. He had some, he's not self-made. His parents put him in a situation where he doesn't have to focus on getting money right now. He doesn't have to focus on getting money in a sustainable way. Listen to what I'm saying. Getting money in a sustainable way. He can keep trying. He can keep trying. He can keep failing and trying, knowing that every time he falls, he has a cushion to land back on. For some of you all, your job and the place that you are in life is to provide that cushion because you didn't have it and you want your kids to have it. So you have to think like this. Rather than thinking about thinking like the Lambo bro, think like the Lambo bro's father. Think like the Lambo bro's mother. What can I do to allow my child to get out here to try a whole bunch of stuff until he or she eventually hits on something and it sticks? That's what many of these young traders are doing. Because I can tell you, as a person who was once a young trader, you have to show, right? You have to show that when you go and get your income verified to go and live certain places, you got to show that you're consistent at this thing. You got to show that you get consistent payouts. You got to show, you can't show that here's what I made in a day. Here's what I made in a week. Here's what I did in a month. You can't do that, right? You have to show the consistency, right? So guess what? You older than the Lambo Bros, but you get motivated by their mindset. They may have knowledge on something because they put the time in. That's just a universal law. You put the time in on studying on something and you study it, you're going to gain knowledge, right? But this is the wisdom talk. This is the wisdom talk of wealth, right? Wisdom is, do you know the right things to do with it once you get it, right? And for you, somebody half your age popping out of a Lambo doesn't help you because you still got to take your daughter to soccer practice. You still have to sit in a dance recital. You still have to be at football practice, and junior is the second team offensive tackle on AU. But you still have to pay for the equipment. Your child still wants to play basketball, and he's not that nice. She's not that great, but those shoes still cost, right? And so you spend more time doing what? Hoping and wishing and regretting and getting mad at the people around you instead of joining LYMG, joining the school link. We're going to have the clear port for you so that we're going to give you real life trade signals in the speed at which your life moves. Right? So stuff that you can implement while you're at work, stuff that you can implement while you're at practice, stuff that you can implement while you're on a coffee break, right? Instead of going, man, see if I had more time, then I would have been able to see the chart so I could analyze and I would have caught that signal. We're going to do that for you and send it to you in a text message with context so that you can have confidence when you make the move. Because we say this right here, right? Competence plus confidence equals capital right there, right? It's going to equal capital. It's going to equal cash flow. So you're going to have more capital, more cash flow when you have competence, meaning you know what's going on and you have confidence and you know what you're doing, not just a blind faith trade. If you take a blind faith trade, you might put one micro on there. You might put a few dollars on there. But when you have competence, you know what's going on, plus confidence, because you can see it through the confirmations, you're like, okay, you know what? This may be worth the standard right here. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I can mess around and make $800 today. And just think about, start there. Think about what $800 means to you in a day. And then do that times three. That's 24. It's 2,400. Just made 2,400. Now do that times four. Four times. You just made 9,600 that month. Right? Do that times 12. 9,600 times 12. 900 times 12 alone is 108,000. What would you do now? Because we're adults, right? We're calculating the taxes, right? We're not just calculating all of that profit. What would you do if you're able to keep 30% of that to yourself? And see what I'm saying? What would you do if you're able to keep over $30,000 to yourself to compound? And you did that 4 years in a row, right? And then every time, right, inflation went up a couple percentages, right? But now your earnings went up. Inflation went up 1%, 1.5%, whatever, but your earnings went up 20%. You beat inflation. You see what I'm saying? Your earnings the next year went up 25%. And all the while, you were trading less, working less, doing less. You were able to trade with more size, more confidence. You were able to trade with more accounts. So it wasn't just like you got lucky, you just picked the spots. You became more deliberate, more intentional in your trading. Hey, I don't need to trade all week. I'm going to pick the spots when price hits these key levels, and then I'm going to enter right there. And I'm going to leave some runners in and let them go. You see what I'm saying? Consistency, right? Consistency, sustainability. That's what it's all about. That's what we discuss here. This is our first bread talk. We're going to do this a lot, right? All glory to the God. All glory to the God, right? Because the bread talk has a double meaning, right? Bread meaning that, yes, we're going to talk about this money. We're going to talk about the bread. We're going to talk about the bread. We're going to talk about this money and how to, the right things to do with it, how to multiply the bread instead of just getting one piece and how to slice it up. You see what I'm saying? We're going to talk about how to multiply the bread, but even bigger. Bread, man cannot live by bread alone, right? Man cannot live by bread alone. That's in the Bible. Man cannot live by bread alone. So we're not going to design our conversations all around the chasing of money. We have to industrialize our income, put our money to work for us. Because when we were created to do what? Take dominion and subdue. You working for money You working for money and constantly being ruled by money, the thoughts of money, not having enough money, chasing money, or what it means if you have money, that's another one. Some people are chasing 100K because you think it makes you more valuable as a man because you have $100,000. So that's like Angelica Pickles when she used to call Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil dumb babies and that they didn't have any responsibility, so they wouldn't understand. That's such low hanging fruit. That's such low hanging fruit. See what I'm saying? So we're not going to have those type of shallow conversations right there where it's just all about how much money you have or what you don't have. We're going to talk about the mindset and the wisdom to not only get the money, keep the money, industrialize the money, make it work for you. So here's the standard that we're going to go by here on this bread talk. Okay. I don't care. Listen, this is different. If you make, I don't care. If you just make enough money for you, you and yours, congratulations, you're on varsity. What does that mean? You got enough money for you and your household, you're on varsity. So whoever made that idea that you're benefiting from as a employee, when you brag about, oh, I work in tech and I make 150,000, 200,000, I do this and I do that. If you just make enough money for you and your household, no matter any of the amount, congratulations, you're on varsity, right? If you make enough money for you and your household and you're able to put other people in position to make money, congratulations, you're on scholarship, right? You're an athlete on scholarship. You're in college now. You graduated from varsity. But guess what? When you're able to provide jobs for other people, you're making enough money in your household and you're providing jobs for other people as well. You're providing income opportunities that allow them to fund their life, live their life, start a family. You're so entrenched in your financial literacy and on your financial journey that you've not only been able to secure yourself, but help other people secure a job and they can start a family based off the company that you started or the job that you provide. Congratulations, you're in the pros. When you're able to do all of those things and take care of generations of your family, when your life is funded because you've made so much money that you're working on your grandchildren and your great grandchildren now, right? And you're so entrenched in your financial journey that other people are able to do the same. Their life is funded. They're working on their grandchildren and their great grandchildren now and their children. You see what I'm saying? You're in the Hall of Fame. You have the gold jacket. So, how much, with that being said, think about what we see on social media. How many people who are Hall of Fame level are talking about you ain't this and you ain't that if you don't have this, if you don't have that, if you don't make 100,000, you're not this. If you ain't got this, you're not that. And why are you still buying into it? All it does is hurt your feelings and your pride for a second, get you motivated, but it doesn't give you enough to follow through. It does enough to reel your emotions in, get you to get their course, get you to subscribe to them. And then there's no blueprint after that because now you actually have to do the work. So that was called a marketing tool. They're actually a nerd at what they do. And you thought they were cool because they popped out this cyber truck. You see what I'm saying? You didn't realize they were a nerd because you were blinded by the chains and the vernacular. But then when they start telling you how much they read and they didn't prepare you for that, and you saw the video, the course in the video in the course was an hour and a half long, and they didn't prepare your mind for that. They just made you feel like a punk for not making $100,000. You went and paid that money, you never followed up. You're back. Now you're here. And you're going to get what you need, the words that are going to penetrate through all of the foolishness, right? You're going to feel it and you're going to be able to follow through and you're going to see those results, right? So If you're not Hall of Fame level, I'm telling you, people who are Hall of Fame level, they don't knock people who are on the lower levels. If you run to a Hall of Fame player right now, let's say you're NFL, you're a young aspiring tight end in middle school and high school. Let's say you're a D1 scholarship tight end. You run to Shannon Sharp, Pro Bowl, Hall of Famer, NFL top 100, all of that stuff, Super Bowl champion, all decade team, Shannon Sharp. Do you think he's going to talk bad about you? Or do you think he's going to give you tips on how to get where he is? But what's been your experience? You're looking at the people on varsity who popping. You're looking at the people on varsity who making X amount of money and got a little truck and they telling you what you're not because you're on JV, right? One thing our culture is lacking, especially in the African American culture, one thing our culture is lacking is safe spaces that we can go to when we know a smart young man, smart young woman from the culture, or somebody who needs some help reintegrating society or getting back on their feet. And we go, hey, I can be the one to give you a job. I can be the one to put you on money. I can be the one to da. It's always, well, you better go and get her job. Well, you better go. Oh, did she go and get a job? Did he? Those are the people who you hear the most opinions from. They got the most to say and they have the least amount of resources to help you to become sustainable. But yet, that's who you base your life off of. And you know why your life doesn't get better? Because their mind is only thinking about the next check, because that's all they know. They do the work to get the next check. So they can't tell you anything about anything that contains perseverance, sustainability, right? Or failing, trying again, getting back up, failing, trying again, making decisions, analyzing decisions, right? Analyzing yourself, growing personally, because that check still comes from them no matter what they do. They could be a mess in their personal life. They could be messy in church. They could be messy in relationships, but they're decent at the job and the check comes. So your life has been authored and narrated by people who are not seriously invested in their financial evolution. They just go to work. And that's no diss, but you have to learn to dismiss their opinion. You have to learn it's okay to make mistakes. You have to learn it's okay to mess up. You have to learn it's okay to sit down and analyze. You have to learn it's okay to start something and in 2 weeks you're not going to get results. Where do you think that comes from? 2 weeks, 2 months. It comes from the employee mindset because nobody's going to go to work for 2 months and not get paid. But you're trying to evolve beyond that. But these are the people who you allow in your head. So that's why you approach things and you don't have patience. You see what I'm saying? That's I could feel when people like that enter to the LYMG fam. It's like God says, hey, hey Kirk, I'm gonna make you lose three. Look, you're gonna lose three signals in a row this week because of somebody among y'all. Like to us, that's like the rats. That's like the version of snitching. It's somebody among you who's trying to come in here real quick and make a quick buck, and they're thinking that you need to prove something to them instead of they need to get right within. They need to be patient with themselves. They need to learn. They need to learn to analyze. They need to spend time to study. It's somebody in here, and we're gonna sift them out real quick. So these next 2, 3 signals gonna be losses, and then you're gonna watch that person disappear. And then that person's going to see 6 months later, they're in the same position, they're stressing over the same money, they're in the same work environment, or they're switching environments, and they're going to go, dang, that person was in a chat with me who started when I just started. They just made 10 grand. Oh, I got to come back. You know what I'm saying? That's how it be. That's how it is. If you come to LYMG environment and you trying to rush everything, you're like a rat. It's like somebody wearing a wire in here. I could feel it. It's a rat amongst us because we all locked in. We all locked in. We know it's a marathon. We know it's not a sprint. And we know we're going to get money, right? We know that. We know we're going to put people in better situations. We know we're going to be hiring people. You know what I'm saying? We know we're going to be the lender and not the borrower. But do you know that? Do you realize the environment that you're in? Or are you trying to bring that impatience, that impoverished environment, that impoverished mindset? Are you trying to taint the water by bringing that in here? Because we're not going to allow you to do that, right? We're not going to allow you to do that. You'll be sifted out. You'll be weeded out. You'll lose two, three signals in a row, and you'll disappear. And then you'll come back when you realize it was all about this right here. It was all about the mindset. Or we'll win five signals, and you won't win a single one of them because it just so happened that you were busy. You went to the bathroom, you went to go get something to drink, you went to go do something else. So you put your phone down for a second, and that's when the signal came in. But you caught the two losing signals that week. I'm telling you, that's how it happens. All right. This is bigger than Nino Brown. This is bigger than us. All right. So let's get it. We're here for you, right? This is bread talk, right? This is bread talk. We don't get that money, but we understand that, hey, man should not live by bread alone. What should we do? We should cling to every word of God. All right. So thank you. Thank you, God. Shout out to big God. Shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? Let's get it. Let's lock in. Let's rock out.